Another one. Missed him. Got another one on. I'm calling that 11. I think we just boated 11 fish in, what, 10 minutes? Oh. He said we can get closer if we want to. Just trying not to mess up a good plan. What kind of weight we got yet? I counted like 11 or 12 since.
No, I think we got 21 on the scale right now.
Really? Sitting on 21 pounds. Comes another one. That's an upgrade. Whew. So we were on the team of Lucas Smith and Dalton Mize. I know we had a little glitch in the Facebook world, and I think maybe the YouTube world. So welcome back, everybody. If you're just now getting back with us, go ahead and share this post and comment for a second here and let everybody know you're watching in, where you're watching from. That'll help drive the numbers back up to get us back up there, to get everybody to know that we're back live real quick. So this team here, we have caught 20 plus. They had 21 on the scale a little bit ago. We've caught 2 since then, 20 plus pounds, that is. I have watched them probably 11, 12, probably 15 fish, just in the chance of us looking forward and saying, hey, there's another team up there. We took a commercial break, and in that commercial break time, we saw them catch 10. And then they've caught quite a few more since we've been sitting here. They said they caught one off the point. Just seems to be a little grass spot out there that's holding them. And he said there is a wad of them here. And, you know, at one point they were doubled up, catching them before they had their limit. So, I mean, it's been for sure a catch fest here. Again, Lucas Smith and Dalton Mize putting on a clinic right now. Folks at home, thank you for hanging with us there and getting us a chance to get back live. With all the storms in the world, the South right now, that's probably affecting the internet and everything. There's another one in the box. Well, that one probably just gonna call out. We're all bigger than those. Darian, man, we got a fish catching clinic going on over here. 20, probably, I'm guessing we probably got 22 pounds right now. These guys are really catching them one after another.
Well, it sounds like we just missed a fish catching clinic. I'm on boat number 124, Lucas Wright and Donald Wright, and they're saying they've got 5 fish somewhere in the ballpark of 16 pounds. So definitely got a good start for these guys.
I mean, the wind picks up, and I think the fishing really turned on.
Yeah, I think so.
I lost my hat. The wind was blowing so hard.
Nice.
Couldn't turn around to go get it because these guys are catching them one after another. Sacrifices today.
Really? So they caught 2 15-pound catfish on a jerkbait.
Wow. Make you feel like you caught something big when you catch one of those.
Yeah, especially if you're on a fishing hump that's got a lot of bass on it.
Making really long casts into the wind. Oh, another one. I don't know. That was close to being a little bit better. Gonna have to weigh that one. Yeah. No. I don't know, Darren. If you're
Got
the
a little
guy
fish on right here.
fishing around, oh, go ahead and catch that one. We'll talk.
I mean, it's tiny. You can keep talking.
Okay. If you're the guy sitting in the pocket with, 20 other guys in the pocket, and probably, I don't know, 10 of them can see you, and you've caught 20 fish right now, how do you feel How do you feel?
You definitely feel confident. I know that. I think the tough thing, probably the tough mental thing for that is, I don't know what they expect they can catch on that spot, but you said they're already around 21 pounds. Like, there's an offensive and a defensive part of this too. Is like if you move to go find bigger ones, you risk, somebody who's already seen you catch all these fish sliding up on it. But at the same time, if you're looking to win the tournament and you're kind of capped out on that area, you want to leave and go find something else. Definitely, it's a tricky spot to be in.
It really is, you fish around some of the best here, and you're a team that's just keeps bringing them in one after another, and if you're the team watching them, you kind of get the mental picture of, hey, we're in the right area at least, or they're all stacked up right over there and we can't even get to them. If you're the team like the Tomlins we were on just a minute ago, they're fishing back behind these guys. They all know that what's going on here.
Gotcha.
It's a grass bite. It's a little shallow
Try to stay out
bite.
of the way.
It's
No, you're
going
right.
to pay off at some point.
I
and
think
for these guys, it's paying off right now.
Yeah, big time. And I think, especially on this lake this time of year, it's so patternable. Like, if I'm another team watching these guys, and for instance, if a team close is wanting to be on that same spot, and it's a hump or a high spot that's, like you said, off a point, you can run in that same area and find a bunch other of those places. And I bet that, if they're on those humps, they're probably on a lot of other humps as well. So you could definitely run around and find something similar.
Yeah, you just got to keep working the area out.
Yep.
But like you said, if you're sitting on 20 pounds, you got some over 5. It's kind of hard to upgrade if you're catching if you're culling every one of them as they come in. Keeping every one you catch, you're just throwing it right back. You're having a good time fishing. You're catching a lot of fish, but you're not really upgrading. Because it's going to take 20, 21 probably to get a check here today.
Yeah. Got another fish on the back of the boat. Let's see what happens. We're close too. Net's out. Oh, he dropped the net. It's either a tiny one or a junk fish. It's a tiny one. Jason, this time of year for me on Guntersville is one of the craziest things because you can catch 50 fish and, like you said, you get to 20 pounds and can't get over it, but you continuously catch solid 3 to 4 pounders. And really, wow. He said they're both catfish they've caught broke their jerk baits, and so they're running out of jerk baits now. But saying you can catch so many fish this time of year if you get on these areas that's got them stacked like that, just on any kind of pre-spawn humps and points and any little drains in between the humps and anything around grass. But you could have the best fishing day ever and not catch any. You don't get over 20, 21 pounds.
Yeah, because you just kind of get stuck on the same size fish in that school.
Yep.
It's tough.
Yep,
It's tough. It's tough to leave those kind of fish biting too.
Yep. there was an ABT that me and Houston fished, and we finished 10th. We had 25 pounds, a little over 25, and the same exact thing, which it was obviously it was my best day of fishing ever, but you couldn't, we just couldn't upgrade from 25, which is a lot of weight, but we probably caught 70 fish that day, every single one of them on a DT6, and I mean, we still talk about that day to this day. It's like, you got 25 pounds, how do you upgrade? If you're catching 50, 60, 70 fish in a day, like, you're doing the right thing, but just getting that 7, 8 pound bite, tough to come by.
It's just hard to do, you know, and guys want a 7, 8 pound bite. Some guys once in a lifetime, and
Yep.
you know, you're there catching 5 over 5, and that's a great day of fishing in any day. But when you're fishing against these guys here, and you hear reports last weekend of 30 plus pound bags, these guys are all shooting for 30 today.
Yep.
In their
You're
mind.
exactly right, and you're exactly right, and it's tough. Like, it's a tough decision to make, because you're like, well, I'm doing the right thing. I'm catching so many fish. They're all good ones, but it's like, you don't want to move because you're catching so many fish, or like, I don't know. It's just a tough decision to make, but.
It is.
The guys were
we come out
covering
here
now.
to
They're
catch
actually
fish. It's fun.
yeah, no, you're exactly right. The guys we're covering now, they're around humps, but they're saying these fish are just related to the bait, and not really as focused on the cover as they are just fishing around the bait. There's a bunch of shad flicking, and you can see bass blowing up on them every now and then, but.
Comes another one. Mm. I'm gonna weigh this one just to see. Yep. Not gonna help. Goes back in the lake. And these guys have changed a little bit on the way they're setting up on this spot. They moved up a little bit and taking it from a different angle cast. For one, they were almost having to cast into the wind each time too. And they're making really, really long casts to reach that spot.
I don't know if this is quite too far to troll to, but Jason, we're in the back of Allreds, and there's so many boats back here. It looks like 2010 right now, the amount of boats that's back in this pocket. I just counted 13 boats in this same area, and this hasn't looked like this for a long time. And obviously, I'd love to be casting right now to see what this grass feels like, but I'm imagining there's some sort of new, I don't know if there's hydrilla back here, but I'm sure that's what everyone's looking for. But I want to just troll our way back a little bit further, which may be a little weird on the camera, but we got 2 or 3 boats just piled up in one same exact spot. I mean, they're rub rail to rub rail. I don't know what's going on over here, but we're going to go figure this out.
Well, we're going to swing another fish over the rub rail at that point. We're going to check this one too. Oh, going back over the rub rail. Calling that one out real quick. Keeping our distance back just a little bit, just let them work the area the best way they want to and not try to pressure them with all the wind that's going on. Well, Luke, we are catching them, dude. These guys over here have been putting on a clinic. I wish it was us, honestly. I wish you and I were both over here just casting away, catching them one after another, swinging them over the rub rail. What you got on your side of the lake?
That sounds like a good time, buddy. But we've caught back up with the Lamb boys, Jed and Jeremy, and there's several other boats in the same area. A couple guys that we're trying to hunt down, actually, and go try to get some updates from a few teams while we're in here. But these guys, I know I sound like a broken record. The 2 or 3 times that I've been doing a live spot this morning, I keep talking about this interference on forward-facing sonar, but I feel like that is definitely a storyline because our quote-unquote scopers of the Alabama Bass Trail, they can't see their baits and they cannot see the fish. And so they are all scrambling. To quote Jed Lamb, he said, "I'll just be honest with you, we haven't had a bite. This is not what we were planning on doing at all." And he said, "I am already spun out." That's what he said when we pulled up just now to check back in on them. So there's, and we kind of saw that with Fisher and Ryan. They were complaining about it. There were several other boats in that same area they were in trying to scope, and Jason, I can hear it in your mic, and I'm sure the folks at home can hear it in mine as well. Wind definitely going to be an issue at some point. If you're fishing anything on the main river run out here, which I'm just off of right now, it is gassing right down the pipe right now. And it is supposed to change directions a little bit more out of northwest, but right now it is cooking. So that could be an issue for some folks as well as the day goes on. That's why you're seeing people piled up in these protected areas.
Yep, and we would call it a protected area normally, but the hard this wind is blowing right now, it's coming out straight out of the south for us, and we had to power pole down and to push you off of it quick. So, but these guys over here are kind of moving around a little bit, still catching them. They may not be scoping and looking at them, but they're constantly looking at them because they're bringing them into the boat. And this one actually is going to go in the box. So we're going to cull here. We're sitting a little over 21 pounds, and now we're going to cull one out. They probably caught 6 or 7 that they didn't even try to cull. And this one here is going to go in the box, and we'll pull one out. So that will count as an upgrade.
I was just over in that same general area where you are there, Jason, and pulled up on Damian Willis, Tyler Kiker, and they respectfully asked that we not show the deal they were on, which I understand. And it was kind of obvious, and they were culling as we pulled up. So I can give you that update as well. They said they had a 6, 2 4s, and just 2 more keepers. But they were culling as we pulled up.
I'll be sure to go back by there, and we'll just pull up and film on them for a little bit.
Now they did tell me, they said
Luke told us to come over here.
We're going to be yeah, don't do that. I'm not trying to get beat up on the weigh-in stage this afternoon. I get enough dirty looks as it is for some of my comments on the stage. I don't need that pressure.
Yeah, when we were coming in this morning, we were chasing some guys back here, and you could tell that they felt the pressure of us just pulling up behind them so quick. And it's like that always. Get that camera up, because these guys are going to start throwing crankbaits in their teeth.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, everybody thinks you're trying to throw over the line every time you pull in. It's friendly fire. I'm like, hey, we come unarmed.
We're just here to make you famous.
Yeah. And sometimes these guys don't want that, and I understand that. You know,
No, sometimes
they work
they
hard
don't.
to
That's
find these
true.
sneaky little spots. You know.
And they
The
do. They
area
put
we
a
are
lot
in
of
right
work
now is
into it.
not
You know,
a
that's the
sneaky little
thing.
spot, but for sure. And that is the tricky thing about doing live coverage in a team tournament series like this, that these guys have spent a lifetime maybe on this lake, you know, and so we try to be respectful of that. We're trying to entertain and educate folks at home, but at the same time, you do have to respect the work that all these folks put into finding these areas that they catch them in on these Alabama Bass Trail Saturdays and today, Sunday.
Well, you know, you say educate the folks at home. You know, we do know that year after year there are a lot of guys that, you know, will tune into this show months from now, even years from now. You know, so if you're watching in 2030, thank you for tuning into the Alabama Bass Trail. But you know, they'll pick up and learn this lake. A lot of guys that, you know, haven't been here in a long time, that, you know, travel the country fishing and want to learn a little bit about. So, you know, guys, we're coming there and going to be there in March. So I think the ABT was there in March, and let's go watch that show. So, you know, that happens a lot. So a lot of these guys are like, you know, let's not give up our secret spots every time. So let's push off, and we'll get those guys another day for sure. They give us plenty of TV time, no problem at all.
No doubt about it. See, Jason, when Darian was fishing, you could just pull up and film him wherever because it never mattered. He wasn't ever catching anything. So
Yeah.
he was like, oh,
Well,
yeah, bring
everybody,
that
you know,
camera in here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I
That's
was
it,
running
or
down the lake
everybody
and he was
knew
like,
where
yeah,
he
that
was
one
fishing.
time, I heard him reminiscing, that one time me and Houston caught so many, man. We caught so many. Me and Houston that one time, we caught so many.
Yeah.
Houston
Yeah.
caught so many that day.
Yeah.
Houston caught them all.
Yeah. Because actually, Houston is the one fishing today, you know. And
Yeah,
if you tune
Houston's
down on the
actually
Facebook,
fishing. That's right.
he's caught some today,
Yeah.
you know. He's actually posting.
Yeah, sounds like.
Look what I caught.
He's
My mic is on, boys. I can hear y'all this whole time. I can hear you.
oh, hey, Darian.
Hey, Darren.
Yeah, I can hear y'all now. Y'all can hear me now. I was hearing all this nonsense going on.
Oh, we were just talking about your amazing, stellar fishing career.
How good you are.
Yeah,
How good you are.
yeah.
On Guntersville, a top 10 and a win. I can't take that from you. I like to give you crap, but I can't take that away from you.
That's right.
I mean, do you have the trophy with you today, like normal? I mean, you ride around with it all the time.
I normally keep it on. I normally keep it with me, but I actually left it
Keeps
home
that
today.
thing on him.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It's not like, you know, you got the trophy and a glass of sweet tea sitting there just grinning.
Usually I keep those two things on me at all times, but oh boy. Luke, we've got some guys in the back. Well, I won't say exactly where we're at, but fishing ultra shallow in the mud, punching right now.
Oof.
And
Punching?
just had a swing and a miss. Yep.
I remember when a guy almost won the Classic here doing that. That nobody
in
knew
this
about.
exact same
It was a
spot.
college kid.
In this exact same spot. I don't know. I don't know these guys' boat number. It's a little bit too windy, and I'll ask him. He just had a bite and miss.
All right, guys, the Lamb crew is on the move, and we're going to hop over to another boat. We've got several that are just right here within trolling boat
Hey guys, what's y'all's
distance.
boat number?
We're going to check in with.
You got any so far?
All right.
Big ones? Boat number 157. Yep. Gordon Lee would be very proud of this. So these guys, Miss Kay is just buzzed in my ear. And so these guys are fishing from Indiana, all the way down from Indiana. They got 3 fish, none over 3 pounds, he said, but we're looking to change that. And they did just have a bite and a swing and a miss. And there's a lot of bait, I mean, a whole lot of bait in this area. They're fishing just some sort of topped out, I don't even know what this grass is, I'm not gonna lie. Something that's topped out. There's just big clumps of it. I don't know, Kenny, if you can see that green kind of topped out area, or even the one they're fishing probably, but there's probably, I don't know, 10 little mats of it that are probably the size of a boat.
Just let me know. Let me know when. Well, guys, I know that you are going to take a break for us. Just a minute. We're going to be right back. Watch some of these fish catching as we go to break. Grab a Mountain Dew and head back over. We'll be right back here from the Alabama Bass Trail from Lake Guntersville.
The Alabama Bass Trail is sponsored by Rapala, VMC, Crush City, TH Marine.
At Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
We truly love the sport of fishing.
that's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
I leave nothing to chance when it comes to hooks. They are the most critical part of the equation.
This is truly the best hook I've ever used.
Thinner, stronger, slicker, all the pluses that you really want in a hook. That red line right in the roof of her mouth, exactly where you want to get them.
When you have the opportunity to create something good, you might as well make this great. And I think that's what we did with the Red Line series of hooks.
In the relentless pursuit of domination on the water, one name stands above the rest. TH Marine's Atlas Jackplate. The power behind champions since 2007. The driving force that propels you to victory. More winners choose Atlas. For the fisherman who demands the best, Atlas delivers. Because every move counts. More winners choose Atlas.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Welcome to Minnow King. How can I help you?
Everything looks good. I'm friggin' starving, man. Been spawning all morning.
Ugh, TMI, bro. What do you want?
I'll take a Crush City freeloader and gizzard shad.
Anything to drink.
Water.
Pull ahead, please. Welcome to Minnow King.
We're going to have what he's had.
Yeah, throw me in a net BLT too.
Pull ahead, please.
calm down. Quit feeding him so much.
Hey, man, I'm trying to, man.
If you overfeed him, he's going to hide under a log.
Here's some words to describe Jack's $6 dinner deals. Southern, hearty, tasty, savory, stupendous. Not really a word, but you get the idea. We're Jack's, and we're all about the South.
Welcome back to the second stop of the Alabama Bass Trail North Division on Lake Guntersville here at beautiful Lake Guntersville State Park as you're looking at 225 boats taking off this morning for an amazing second stop. Weather pushed us to Sunday, but we're glad to be here, glad to be at Lake Guntersville State Park. Really thankful for Heath Puckett and all of the staff here at the state park that helped us get this event on today, all of the help up at the state park. It was some really bad storms. Again, our thoughts and prayers are out to people who lost their homes, their businesses, and the loss of life that we experienced in the state of Alabama last night. It was a rough 24 hours in our state, but we are here at Lake Guntersville, and as you have seen, Lucas Smith and Dalton Miles with 21 pounds in the boat right now. We have had several teams report 5 fish limits, Taylor and Austin, as well as Wright, Donald Wright and Lucas Wright, and also Tyler Kiker and Damian Willis say that they have a 5 fish limit. I want to mention, while Jason and Darian and Luke are getting set up on new teams, so I did want to mention that this week we did unveil the 2026 Alabama Bass Trail 100 schedule. And we are on, we're going to start off at Smith Lake in Coleman, Alabama on January the 17th. We will then go to Neely Henry Lake on June the 6th and then round it out at Lake Jordan on November the 7th. So we are excited about that. That registration does open on June the 11th for new teams for 2026. You can read more about that on the Alabama Bass Trail 100 website. But we are going to get out to Luke, Jason, and Darian. They are covering guys out on the water. It is going to be a full day of fish catching action. Again, last weekend there was a tournament here at Lake Guntersville, over 60 bags that had 20 pounds. So let's get back out on the water with Jason, Darian, and Luke. Luke, who are you covering?
Well, I've got Caleb Swain and Houston Calvert right here, and they've got one big one and 3 more in the box. Said it was fast and furious early, but has slowed down a little bit since then, since this wind has started really pounding the area they're in. They're letting us get up close and personal, though, thank goodness, so we can actually talk. If you're not right on top of a boat today, they can't hear you, you can't hear them. This wind is rocking on the Big G.
Now you can ask him who really caught him.
Houston, we're getting some questions on Facebook and YouTube. Darian brags a lot about the tournament y'all won and your top 10. For the folks at home that are asking, it's a very important question. Who caught all those fish? He caught the first what?
He caught the first limit.
He caught the first limit, and then you called all of them after that?
Everyone.
Okay, that's what we thought. All right, we had to come to the source.
He caught him
twice.
Oh, he did, but on the day you won, he didn't. Okay, all right. Darian, getting some clarification here from your former partner, Houston Calvert. He said that you did catch the first one on the 30-pound day, but then he really took care of it from there. Now, on the 25-pound day, he did give you some credit, but y'all didn't win that day, so, you know. You ain't first, you're last.
He should have been better that day is the problem. He should have done better on the 25-pound day. Look,
Darian said you should have been better on the 25-pound day. If you would have been better, y'all would have won, maybe. Yeah, probably so. Okay. No big deal. He's just fishing for 15 grand right now. We're taunting him.
Luckily for me,
you should be
Houston
ashamed,
hasn't fished these last year, and we haven't covered him yet, so I haven't been able to get the facts out of him. I've actually asked him not to fish this year so that we wouldn't have to cover him, and him to actually unveil what happened. Luke, did he tell you?
I think Houston just said it's his trophy.
How big is your biggest one that you got?
We didn't weigh it. It's probably close to 6.
Close to 6? He said he didn't weigh it, probably close to 6.
Luke, the team that we're covering right now is fishing probably one of the best spawning pockets, in my opinion, on the lake, or especially in this area. And there's a lot of boats around fishing the deeper edges of it, but they said in practice there were hundreds of bass swimming around and you could actually see them. And I asked if he had any really good bites in practice doing this, and he said yes. There's a couple of like matted, a little bit matted out areas, topped out areas they're punching or like flipping it. And then the rest of it, he said they were just catching on chatterbait on this flat. But he said if once the sun gets up and heats this water up a little bit more, he thinks it's really going to go down. But I mean, just textbook pre-spawn fish funneling into an area, and I won't say they've got the whole area to themselves, because they definitely don't, but they're they're the shallowest of all the people that are fishing this area. So if there is fish piling in, these guys could get right.
I definitely think we'll see that at some point today.
And I've seen a couple, I mean, I can see 2 boats right now fishing, I mean, right on the bank. I don't know if they're looking for spawners. I'd be curious to see how many of these guys find spawners today. These guys are way out of the wind, so you can see really well up there where they're at. We're still covering the same boat. These guys are from all the way from Indiana, and said they had a really good practice. So Luke will definitely have to ask these guys how. I'm curious to see what they weigh in. This is probably gonna be one of my top ones to watch for weigh-ins, because if this bite turns on for them throughout the day, it's could be lights out. I'm also just right in the way too.
It's not hard to get in the way today trying to cover this tournament in this wind. You can get in somebody's way pretty quick today.
Real quick.
Ask me how I know. Damian Willis and Tyler Cocker, they let me know that pretty quick. I got right in their way really fast.
And they were probably very direct with their words too.
They were. Hooked up right here. Caleb Swain.
Just
Biggins.
a Swain and
Calvert said got them biggins. This a little guy, but a bite. They were telling us when we first pulled up that this area there were a ton of boats that started in here and that everybody was hooked up in the first hour. So we missed a show, sounds like, in this general area, and I can still see from here conservatively 20 boats from where I'm at right now.
Luke, earlier this week, Houston texted me and said that, he won a big college tournament here in March, doing pretty much what he's doing right now, but he was able to fish a little bit shallower and fish a swim jig a bunch, and I think they weighed in 29, something, I don't remember exactly, but he said the bite wasn't exactly right for that, but it was like setting up. He really thought it would be similar, and I heard him tell you earlier he wishes the water would have came up a little more so he could fish that swim jig.
Yeah, he was definitely hoping to get to fish some swim jigs today. I remember that tournament when he was at the University of North Alabama. He cracked on them pretty good that day.
Yep.
He was telling us, you know, he loves to throw that DT6. That's what he's doing a little bit right now, but he said since this wind's gotten up, that crankbait's not an easy crankbait to throw in the wind. And he said it's really made it hard.
Luke, I think it's about time. I don't know if we've still got Jason on or not, but it's about time to head back over to Josh Butts. I can hear him hollering from here, and I'm about 9 miles away. But I feel like it's about time for a midday Josh Butts update.
All right.
Before I head over there, though, before I head over there, I wanted to say one more thing. Since we had the Facebook and YouTube drop off earlier, we've got obviously a bunch of people watching at home on YouTube and on Facebook. We're going to do a giveaway today. And to win the giveaway, all you got to do is comment below what you think the winning weight of the tournament will be. You can have a max of 5 guesses. Guess the winning weight of the tournament. If you get it right, we're going to pick a winner and send them a free prize pack, ABT gear, and maybe some Crush City baits, maybe some Strike King baits. And if you share this post on Facebook, this is going to be key. If you share it on Facebook, we're going to throw in a couple extra baits. And by we, I mean I hope Miss K does. So if you share it on Facebook, you have a chance to win even a little bit more goodies. So there's that. Luke, while I'm here, before we make the run, I want to take a guess at what we think the winning weight's going to be. I don't know if we still got Jason on. I don't hear him, but I'm going to guess that we cracked the 30-pound. Okay. I'm going to guess that we cracked the 30-pound mark today, Luke. I'm going to say I'm going to go 30 pounds, 0.74. 30.74 is my guess.
I think he wants you to guess
Jason,
next.
What's your guess?
I'm going to say, you know, now you said I get 5 guesses though, right? 5 guesses,
Yeah,
and how many shares do I need to do to get 5 guesses?
Well, every 2 shares you do, you get 5 more guesses.
Okay, but I'm gonna do 29 and 31. How about that?
29 and 31.
I think it'll
like
either
that.
be really big today or it's gonna be just under it.
Yep.
Yeah, I do think
that.
I think we'll bump 31 today. I think we'll bump 31. Not sure we'll break a record.
Well, I'm going to make a run, and whenever Luke gets back in, make sure you get his answer for this because we need to know.
You know, now that he's heard our answer, he's going to guess. It's easier to guess.
He only backed off just to wait till we said.
For sure. Well, we're going to hang here. We're still with our team that's catching them. If you're just getting tuned back in, maybe you dropped during the feed. When we dropped earlier, we're on Lucas Smith and Dalton Mize, boat number 214. They have caught 21 pounds, probably caught 20 plus fish. A good many of those were on live earlier. Just on a little grass spot, they said, we just kind of pulled up on it. They'd caught one off a point, and then they just caught them one after another on the same cast. And it has been fun to watch for sure. Good to see that teams are able to catch fish today after all the storms that we had yesterday and earlier. The fish are still hanging here in the shallows. A lot of teams have been reporting that, the fish are right where they were when they left them in practice. The teams couldn't come practice yesterday because of the weather, but they were here earlier this week and on Friday fishing, and most teams said that they showed back up and the fish are right where they were. So that's a good thing that teams were able to locate fish and they didn't move all over the place on them. They have since moved off that spot a little bit. They moved up past it, and now we've moved back down below it a little bit. We're sitting in about 5 foot of water, lots of grass. We're just kind of throwing up there in the grass and ripping through it. Making really long casts. about earlier, if this team were to move off their area, for one, because they can't upgrade really, as they continue to catch fish on that same spot, they were just putting everyone they caught right back in the water. It's kind of hard to upgrade when they get to the point where they were, and all the fish in the school seem to be about the same size. So they moved around the spot a little bit, tried to catch a couple different ones from it, taking it as a different angle. And now we have another team that's kind of pulled in here behind them. They've drifted down off the spot. They went above it. Now we've drifted down below it. And then we have a team that just came in and doesn't know anything about what's happened here. They may have a history of fishing here, and they may have fished that spot before and caught a lot of fish, but now they're moving into this spot. Moving back in there is, this team's not even been over there before. So when you show up in an area, a lot of times you don't know what's been happening, for one, and then, this team's really been catching them. And they're going to go kind of over in that area and fish as well. So we may see them start to catch some fish off that same low grass bed. But it's funny, year after year, we talk about, teams will move in and catch a fish off some spot, move, and then we'll kind of go back there and another team will be there catching them. We've said it before, there's not a lot of secrets anymore at Guntersville. Just so many teams have been here, so many people have fished here. And it's just a lot of community stuff. It's kind of hard to find that little off-the-wall area that nobody else gets to fish. And when you find it, you really don't tell anybody about it, or you shouldn't. I know that sun is probably burning the screen up right now, but it's just what we got to work with at this point. Well, I think Luke has made it back to another team. Luke, I'm supposed to get your guess the weight number. Darian's got this kind of contest running. I'm not exactly sure how it works. You're supposed to guess a weight about something, so just guess some kind of weight. Or don't.
Definitely be talking about something.
I don't think Luke, I think Luke may have lost his microphone. Probably in the running around, it blew off, like my hat blew off earlier. Just standing on the front deck. Oh! I think I hear you, Luke.
Can you hear me now?
Ground control to Luke.
Can you hear me, Jason?
Ground control to Luke.
Yes. I'm trying my best to hide from the wind. Also, I know that it's proven to be a challenge today with that.
Yeah, don't put your microphone in your pocket though. Don't
No.
Try to keep it up close to your face.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you for the tip. I actually had it ran down into my boot earlier, and it's probably why you guys couldn't hear me. Like to keep it there when I'm running down the lake in these 4-footers.
Well,
so I just pulled up on Mitch Mitchell.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, Mitch Mitchell Candler.
You're supposed to guess the weight, at some point. So do that after you get that.
I said 30. I said 30 pounds. I can't pick
30.
less than 30 pounds on a tournament. Oh, Mitch just missed one right there.
Ooh. Where are y'all? Did you go up the lake a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just basically across from Seabold.
Okay.
There's a lot of boats over here. When we first pulled, yeah, not too far away from Seabold here.
When I talked to teams before this week, that was the thing. Yeah, the thing that where are you guys catching them at? Between Seabold and the bridge. Okay.
Yeah.
Which bridge, first of all? Everybody knows where Seabold is.
That's right. That's a fact. Well, Mitch and Candler said they've caught about 10 fish, but no big ones. And Mitch actually said, "What happened to this place? This place is supposed to be the land of the giants. What's going on?" So no big ones yet for Mitch and Candler, but we've seen that with them a few times in the past, and then they bring in the 5 biggest ones at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they sandbag, and here comes 30 pounds.
They're definitely Tennessee River experts, to say the very least.
Oh, we got another one here. Power poles are going down. Net's coming out. We're looking to upgrade for sure. Can't tell yet. I'm gonna say no. Well, if you tuned in to watch fish catching, we've tried to bring that to you. Nope, not gonna upgrade.
That might have got a little interesting yesterday, though. Yeah, that's a fact. Mitch said that we might have been better off fishing yesterday as hard as the wind's blowing today. I think the wind was a little worse yesterday, though.
I'm going to say no.
And had some thunder and lightning and flood with it.
Had a little bite to it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's got some bite today too, man. It is blowing right down the gut, and it is supposed to shift more out of the northwest than it is right now. But right now, it seems to be just dead out of the west.
Yeah, if it blows any harder, I'm just going to blow me right over you.
It'd be a good day to fly a kite.
Well, all the sailboats are over here. I'm like, man, y'all need to get out. Put a sail up. Let's go.
All the teams we're covering that are fishing in this heavy wind in this general area where so many people seem like they caught fish first thing this morning, you're seeing a lot of adjustments, man. A lot of folks changing color, changing baits, just trying to relocate these fish or figure out a way to trigger them. And it does seem, you know, that rain still was hanging around just even right before blast off. Now you got the, you know, bright bluebird skies, this big wind. Conditions are changing by the minute to more of a post-front condition for sure.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain at like right at 4 o'clock. You know, I was driving in, I was like, when we stopped to get gas, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and take the cover off, but I was a little nervous. They were gonna get a big rain right here at blast off. Thankfully it held off. But the radar had it coming through. But I'm done with that rain. We've had enough rain right now.
Well, we chased these guys back to their starting spot, and as soon as we pulled up, they were making a run, so we followed them to another bridge, and we haven't asked them what they got. Honestly, Josh gave us a look that says, you better stay back further than what you are, and don't ask me about how I'm catching them right now. So we just said, yes, sir. We hopped in line behind them and followed them to the next hole. But I did give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and he waved them both off, so I don't know if that was good or bad. Hey guys, it's wavy out here.
Like another fish on over here. I already lost it. It's the first one we see him lose today. Oh, we got an airplane just took off. That was cool. Little airplane shot in the background there. another fish over there, Earl.
See y'all.
Okay. All right, we got Miss Kay back in the studio. We're going to give us an update and kind of look around at what we've all seen this morning. So, Miss Kay, take it away.
Welcome back inside the Alabama Bass Trail Live studio here at Lake Guntersville State Park on the banks of the beautiful Tennessee River, Lake Guntersville. And it is, looking out my window, it's quite whitecapping right here at the state park. Winds are up, but fish are biting, so we're excited. We will have our weigh-in here at the state park at 3 o'clock this afternoon. There is bleacher seating available. Parking is limited, so please, if several of you are coming to the park, please try to carpool. Parking is very limited. The campground is full. The parking lot is full. We had 175 teams come to this location this morning, so parking is at a premium. We'll be back in just a minute. We'll get Jason, Luke, and Darian set up on new teams, and we'll be bringing you more fish catching action back here on the Alabama Bass Trail. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. It's all good.
Live coverage of the Alabama Bass Trail is brought to you by Garmin, Power Pole, Mountain Dew, Yamaha.
At Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
We truly love the sport of fishing.
that's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Here at Lanners McClarty Chevrolet, it's time to pick your offer on a new Chevy Silverado 1500. That's right, pick the offer that's best for you. Choose rates as low as 2.9% for 72 months, or how about up to $12,000 off all Silverados? They have the best selection in years with over 500 pre-owned vehicles available. Big store, big on savings, and big on customer service. Visit LannersMcClartyChevrolet.com.
Some things ain't worth keeping. Yesterday's traditions, today's adventures, tomorrow's memories. Now that's something worth keeping. Fish Alabama and find your keeper.
For more information, visit fishalabama.org.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
What's more southern than a steak biscuit in the morning? 2 steak biscuits, and you can get them now for only $5.55. It's the country fried and flaky way to start the day. We're Jax, and we're all about the steak. Sorry, South.
Welcome back to the second stop of the Alabama Bass Trail North Division, Lake Guntersville, Alabama, here at Lake Guntersville State Park. As you can see, largemouth spotted bass are what we're looking for, and that smallmouth. We haven't seen any of those this morning, but we are looking for those largemouth spotted and smallmouth. And you can see the sizes there that are acceptable. Right now, you can have 1 smallmouth in your boat if you're in the Tennessee water, and there looks like there are some guys that may have made that run there. So an 18-inch smallmouth can be in your boat, 1 as long as you're in the Tennessee waters. That is going to change, I think, later on this year, but right now we're still operating under those under those guidelines. I do want to remind you, 3 o'clock is the weigh-in here at the state park. Make sure that you come in. There's plenty of bleacher seating for everyone. We will be live on the AlabamaBassTrail.org as well as on the Alabama Bass Trail Facebook page and on YouTube, so you can tune in there. Angela will be there to answer any questions you have. We'll be posting pictures to our social media, Instagram and Facebook accounts. Also want to remind everybody, if you're going to be in Fort Worth next week, we will be at the Bassmaster Classic, booth 2404. You can come by, see John, myself, Daniel, and Angela as we are there exhibiting for Fish Alabama. Come by and talk to us about all the Fish Alabama stuff, and you might just get to see the fish wrestler. I think he'll make his return to the Bassmaster Classic there in Fort Worth. We're going to go ahead and get out on the water. Luke is on a new team, and I believe he is on Walt Roberts and Bill Mayo. Let's see what those guys have in the boat. They are former winners here on the Alabama Bass Trail. Luke?
Yeah, I've caught up with Bill Mayo, Walt Roberts. You're right, champions on the Alabama Bass Trail, and I'm gonna tell you, not a lot of teams in this event that have more history on Guntersville than these two guys. We saw them make a small coal as we pulled up. The wind is blowing so hard they couldn't hear me when I asked them what they've got, so we don't have a weight estimate, but Walt did catch one right as we were easing in to try to get set up to shoot. And they were power poled down when they caught that one. Now they pulled the poles up and now fishing back the other way up the grass line. But working some lipless and working some vibrating jigs, looks like, and you can bet bait fuel is involved in that boat, just like most boats out here on the Alabama Bass Trail with these two. Definitely going to start to make it challenging in a lot of areas for some of our teams, but I believe it was Darian that mentioned this earlier. This time of year on this moving bait bite, the wind definitely can benefit you. But from some of the teams we've talked to in this area, they act like since this wind's gotten up like this that it has hurt this area. But this is so shallow in here, you can actually see the mud starting to get stirred up on some of these flatter, shallower points. And so that water clarity changing a little bit. Also with this wind, that floating eelgrass can start to be an issue because it changes where it's set up. It can blow it into your area. It might not have been in here an hour ago, and then all of a sudden you get to where you can't get a good clean cast on some of this stuff. Definitely something to keep an eye on as we move forward today. Going to be a ton of bass caught in this event. Obviously, we've been watching that this morning. No shortage of fish catches. There's going to be no shortage of 20-pound stringers, I'm sure. Lake Guntersville, these fish are born. They weigh 4 pounds, I feel like. The second they go from fry to 4 pounds. 60 bags, over 20 last weekend. We're expecting to see a lot of that today. Hello, friend. You're not going to catch any while I'm here on purpose? Man, that's a pro move. How much y'all got? What's that? Maybe 20? Okay. Close to 20. I don't know if you guys can hear that over the wind at home, but Walt Roberts told me he's not going to catch any on purpose while we're here, so he doesn't give up any secrets. That's a pro move. From a veteran right there. Little does he know, we saw him catch one as we were pulling up, so he's not too sneaky. Who's that? That team there? Really? Said this team straight across from them, they saw them catch a bunch. Can't tell who that team is. They've got some glare from the sun right here, making it hard to see. I can't even tell what kind of boat it is. But we may have to ease over there and get an update.
It sounds like you're riding in a wind tunnel over there.
Well, spoiler alert.
What kind of weights you guys got?
Right around 20 somewhere.
20?
Yeah.
That's good.
Something like that.
That's what we're looking for, right?
A couple. I mean, it's been kind of hit and miss, but we caught some fish.
Yeah. How was practice?
A lot of little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of big ones, but we had all right. It was decent.
The storm's pretty rough, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that storm was rough.
Much rather be fishing today than yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a good call. It was. Yesterday would have been bad. catch one right behind the boat.
That'd be good.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? You have to jump over the boat?
Yeah.
I'm back in. I'm back in. We've fought the wind and the waves and snuck in behind some islands. And honestly, there's a few boats back here. I think they're just getting out of the wind, to be honest. I don't even know if there's fish biting over here. Feels like a totally different day where we're at.
Kind of pull back in here to this pocket a little bit. It's really shallow back here, a lot more grass. This team here we're on has got 20 plus pounds. Probably gonna hear that a lot today. A lot of 20-pound bags. They pulled out a little bit more. It's just a big island, kind of works off into a little flat, little saddle in between. And that's where they were fishing when we pulled up. And one boat kind of pulled in here and just decided, you know what, we're not gonna stay, we're out. So they left. As you can see, probably off in the background, we got 4 or 5 boats fishing the same little stretch. Lots of grass back in here. We do have some guys out in the middle kind of scooping around. Sun's getting up high in the sky.
Fisher's got one on. Going for the net. Looks like a good one. Got a little fist bump from him. We'll say that one's 4 pounds or better. How much did it weigh? Did he say 6? 6 pounder. And he's going in the box to make a call. Let's see what this is. The boat's kind of turning at a weird angle on us, so we can't really see the action. Oh boy. That was a 3.5 pounder. Oh boy. So for the viewers at home, I know y'all are wanting probably me to go in and ask them about this fishing, but it's super shallow and real quiet back here, and I don't want to get in close at all. It's not quiet. There's a billion birds. If y'all are hearing the birds, that's from where we're at, but it's pretty shallow over here, so I don't want to disturb what's going on. They're fishing for individual fish, like they're chasing fish on live scope and casting at specific fish, so don't want to get in too close and mess up what they're doing. I'm a little bit too far really to ask them what they've got right now, but if that one, I mean, the one that I just threw back was a really good fish. And Fisher weighed that one and said it was a 6 pounder, so. If their smallest fish was, how much y'all got? 19. I'm gonna say, well, they're weighing all of them. That means that was not a 3.5 pounder that they threw back, which I actually think it was, which means I think that they're sandbagging.
We're going to let these guys drift off and slide back just a little bit, so let Luke come back in a minute.
We just caught up with boat 198 with Stevens' crew, Chuck and Dale. And right as we were pulling up, they were netting one on one of those red-eye shads that you mentioned earlier today, Jason, in your picks. With this wind blowing, anytime you can find a little bit of protected water today, you find a lot of boats. I can see a half a dozen or so in this little pocket we're in. This is actually not the team we were chasing a team on the tractor Adcock and Marsh, and they look like they might have moved around the corner from us a little bit. And as we pulled in, the Stevens boys were really one in, so stopped to catch up with them real fast.
Luke caught up with Fisher and Ryan, and basically within 5 minutes they caught a 6-pounder. And they threw back one that looked like it was 3.5 or so. I mean, it was a good fish. He says they got 19 pounds, but I think it could be more than that. We're going to show this fish catch one more time, and you see Fisher just hooked up on the front, and you can tell that this one is a big one because he's got it. I mean, he's not doing anything with it. He's holding it for a while. Fish is rough, and Ryan holding the net and standing makes you know that it's a big one. As soon as he put it in the net, you could tell from real far away that it was a big one. But you hold that big enough right there, you get a little fist bump action, and you know it's setting up to be good. But the other thing too is this area they're in. There's not a lot of boats. There's boats, I guess, around a little bit, but definitely not doing what they're doing. Not doing exactly what they're doing. They're more fishing the bank. They're live scoping the bank, and I don't know, pretty unique pattern, I would say. Something I haven't seen today. But they're fishing. They're hitting behind the wind, exactly what you just said, Luke.
Darian, I watched them a little earlier, and they were scoping, but out in the middle, they kept sliding back over to a stretch of bank and scoping too. And I'm wondering, and maybe you can get close enough to ask, I wonder if they're seeing some spawners on live scope in some of the dirty water. I wonder if that's what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, they're throwing at the bank like they're a cast you'd be making a spinnerbait with. They're shaking a minnow up there.
No kidding.
Yep.
On the minnow.
On the minnow.
Darian, I just wonder, as it warms up, sun gets higher, with this full moon that we've had this week and the warmer temperatures leading into all that rain yesterday, I gotta think somebody's gonna catch some fish either spawning or right on the brink of spawning. You get a full moon with the water temperatures we've got, I mean, you're talking 58 where I'm at right now. I've caught fish, sight fishing when the water's been 55 before. So I gotta think we got some fish spawning on this moon for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with you. I think I would definitely be up there looking. The water, I mean, especially some of these protected pockets where it's not being blown out by the wind, it's still, I mean, it's really clear. And you could definitely see them.
This pocket I'm in right now, we're watching every team doing something a little bit different. A lot of chunking and winding going on, obviously, around the grass. The Stevens boys are doubling up on some lipless, but back in the very back, and I mean some skinny stuff. I see 3 or 4 boats. Some of them are power pulled down. I'm talking about way back in there. So I'm going to try to make my way at some point to some of these teams. Now the water, something that I haven't talked about on live, and you guys, I'm not sure between the wind and running around, if you guys have mentioned this, I apologize, but this water being down, you know, just talking to Walt Robertson, Bill Mayo, he estimated almost 2 feet right now. I know I was coming into an area a little earlier and that I have been in a lot, and I hit something because I was not expecting it to be that low, I guess. But I just wonder if that's going to hurt a little bit of the shallower fish. Darian, we're getting a question on live asking if there's any kind of shad spawn going on at all, and I would say no. No sign of that just yet. Normally that's going to start happening. Yeah, normally that's going to start happening after the bass spawn is finished. Yep, I agree. I always think of May. When I think of shad spawn, I always think of mid-April, early May area. I know it's water temp dictated, but I'm not hunting it this time of year. I'm going to ease a little further into this pocket, Darian, and I'll jump on another team. There are 2 or 3 teams right here past me. I'm going to try to get on. I'll be back in just a minute. I think he wants your autograph.
I'm gonna sign it.
Fisher's hooked up. Ryan burned another. Burned his bait in and gets a net. Oh, we got another big one. Oh, having some problems with the boat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's another, I mean, that's got to be over 5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
He's going to weigh it first, and then I'm sure we can get Fisher to hold this one up. I'm going to scoot in a little bit closer for a split second. Let's see how big this one is they throw back. Okay, so we're a little closer. That one they threw back earlier wasn't probably as big as we thought it was. That one looked like it might have been a 3-pounder they just threw back. What'd that one weigh?
Almost 6.
Oh, another almost 6-pounder. Jeez. Back to business. So that's 2 almost 6-pounders. I think they're going to have somewhere in that 22, 23-pound range. I mean, he's weighing all of them, so I know that his weight's got to be pretty close. Kenny, we're covering Fisher and Ryan. They've got a Crush City wrap. I want to take the time real quick to talk about a Crush City bait that we saw actually being used earlier. Fisher and Ryan are not doing this, but on a day like today, there's a lot of wind. The water's got some stain to it, and a lot of presentations that you might want to use may get blown out. You have to change. So when there's a lot of wind, you definitely want something you can feel. And so that lipless bite that we're hearing about a bunch, a chatterbait bite we're hearing a bunch. But if you're going to throw a trailer, a lot of times you want something that's kicking, moving a bunch of water, and something that, again, like you can feel. If you're dragging a bait or swimming it, you want something that you can feel. That way you know the difference in a bite and, whether it's grass, whatever. In this wind, it's pretty hard to feel. So the Cleanup Crawl by Crush City is an awesome bait. This one's black and blue. And I'll open this pack up. They've got all their baits in clamshells, so none of the pinchers ever get messed up. But this bait, the team we were following earlier from, I believe it was Indiana or Illinois, they're flipping a bait just like this. You can split those tails apart, and they've got little, I don't know, they've probably got some kind of technology name for that, but real heavy flappers on the bottom. So when you're working this bait, it's kicking big time. You can definitely feel it. And really, when you work this bait, you can feel it almost, not quite as defined as like a chatterbait vibration, but you can definitely feel the bait coming back. That's a big deal to get bites this time of year. Black and blue, you can't go wrong with it, especially when the water gets a little stain to it. But again, this is a Crush City Cleanup Crawl. That's designed by Jacob Wheeler, and him and Dustin Connell have caught a ton of fish with this. We see Fisher use this a bunch throughout the year. But yeah, there's your Crush City Cleanup Crawl by Rapala. There she is. Again, not what Fisher and Ryan are using today, but really good bait to go to this time of year. Especially like Luke was talking about earlier, the fish are going to get up on the bank at some point in time soon and rigging this Texas rig, fishing for spawning fish. I'm sure if they get up shallow, how they're fishing, these fish are pushing up to the bank. And so they're catching these big ones. There's deeper water in the middle, kind of from here to where Ryan and Fisher are sitting at. There's deeper water, but they're going to spawn right up there along this entire bank. It's protected by the wind. It's protected by the current. This is a perfect spawning pocket. So if perhaps once the day goes on and they see fish up on the bank, I can almost guarantee you that's what they're going to go to, Texas rig, to fish for some of those bedfish. This water is so pretty and clear in here too. Luke, when you left, Fisher caught another one almost 6 pounds.
I heard that. Well, we just moved in here to the Rollins gang, Mitch and Jackson, and they've got one fish. They said it'll go about 6 pounds. I said, other than that, it has been a slow morning so far. I'm just making my way through the bumper boats and trying to see who's who and who's got what in here, because kind of in the Murphy Hill area right here. And, you know, Darren, you and I have actually fished in here some. The water's low, but you know, you got all these pad stems and you've got so much grass out in these little drains. And you've got everybody that's in here is doing a little bit of something different.
There's a lot of boats that are non-ABT boats out today too.
For sure. Several of those in here as well.
Mr. Durant, welcome back to the party.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're on boat 126. Chris Britton and Eric Springer. Got a limit, pushing 19 pounds. Fishing a little ditch here in the back of the creek. Said they were up on the flat earlier, and they kind of pulled off in the ditch now. So they felt like they had this area mostly to themselves. The team kind of come in here earlier this morning, didn't really pressure much, but fished around as well. So they just hunkered down here and had a limit around 8 o'clock. So off to a solid start. Got to get above that 20 pounds probably to get a check today.
Look at that.
I know you two have already talked about your...
Oh! Luke, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Fisher's fishing for a fish. Now Fisher just threw it a fish twice, and on the second cast, Ryan backed up and put his rod down and went for the net. And Fisher like bowed his knees, like almost fell to the ground, because you could tell the fish came up, missed his bait. He kept working it, and then he missed it again. And finally Ryan picked up his rod and started casting again, but he definitely had one on his trail that just came up and probably sniffed at it.
He's probably caught it before. I knew the drill. It's like I'm avoiding that Crush City boat. I know how this ends. I know how the story goes.
Yep. Oh, Ryan's got one. That was on a non-scope cast too. That was just a blind. That was a blind minnow shaking. Ryan flips in a 2-pounder, and that's not going to do him any good.
I think he just choreographed
the old
a new
Hope cast.
The new term, the non-scope cast.
Yeah, non-scope minnow shaking. Jeez. Yeah. He said all we need is 3 more of them. It's, I guess it's about halfway through the day. I think they were boat number 138? So they're 107. So they're about halfway through the pack. It's not even 11. They still have a ton of time. If they catch 3 more of those, they could have a really, really good shot at going back to back. Back-to-back Guntersville wins. They won last summer, and we got to cover them a bunch that day. They stayed in basically the same exact spot the entire day and caught a bunch of fish. But now that they've got 2 6-pounders, I know they're really starting to think about if they could do the back-to-back.
Darian, I'm not trying to make you nervous or anything, but I just got a text. We have a VIP that is viewing ABT Live right now, and this man, the big offensive lineman for the University of Tennessee this past year, Dane Davis, and he wanted to say go Vols. Yeah, and he said, I don't know who this Roll Tide guy you guys have commentating is here that's on Fisher and I, but I don't like it. So I'm just telling you, just be careful. Be careful. You see Big Dane, go the other way.
There's several people I'd want to argue with about that conversation, but I don't think he's one of them. I mean, if he said, Darian, look here, you're going to pull for the Vols, I'd probably just throw on a little orange and run with it that day.
You would risk getting kicked out of your family, trust me.
Matter of fact, I love orange. Matter of fact, you're still listening. I don't even really like the Tide. I don't even like elephants really. Luke, how many standard size ABT fishermen would it take to get past him off the line of scrimmage to get to the quarterback?
How many we got in this thing? 450? I'm gonna say about 449.
Hey, we need him. I need him over here when I'm fishing a tournament again. I want somebody to protect the hole. You just get him to protect your spot.
Yeah,
ain't nobody coming around.
That's right. No, ain't nobody. Big Dane likes to catch him a bass too, so he'll spot lock and dig in, man. Get down there low, keep him off of it. You think if he was running at you, you could know all the words to Rocky Top? You've heard it so much lately, I feel like you probably know the words.
Easy. Looks like we had a Facebook comment come in asking if Ryan and Fisher are using perspective mode. I don't think that they are. I only say that because of how well they're following their bait back. They haven't lifted the trolling motor for me to be able to see it, but it doesn't really look like it. It looks like they're probably, there's definitely some grass up there. So imagine they're fishing that bait above the grass and being able to watch it back the whole time. But I think that would probably be a question for Luke to ask on weigh-in stage later on, because there's definitely a perspective mode kind of area. Luke, when you've got your live scope on perspective mode, how well can you see your bait come back?
You can't see it as good as you can on regular, you know, the forward view, I would call it, just the regular live scope. You can't see it as detailed, but you can see it. You definitely can see it.
Yeah.
And it's really cool how good you can see the fish swimming, especially if they're around a stump or they're on a bed or around a dock post. But you can't see your bait near as good as just that textbook scoping screen.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna carry this show on over to a commercial break. First off, we're gonna watch a few fish catches from Fisher and Naya, and we'll see you all back here in just a second.
The Alabama Bass Trail, brought to you by Halo Fishing, Net Bait, Bait Fuel, Snag Proof.
At Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
We truly love the sport of fishing.
that's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Here at Lanners McClarty Chevrolet, it's time to pick your offer on a new Chevy Silverado 1500. That's right, pick the offer that's best for you. Choose rates as low as 2.9% for 72 months, or how about up to $12,000 off all Silverados? They have the best selection in years with over 500 pre-owned vehicles available. Big store, big on savings, and big on customer service. Visit LannersMcClartyChevrolet.com.
Before there were hashtags, there were handshakes and shared stories. They gave us confidence to make our first cast and chase our dreams. They taught us to fish, and in the process, taught us about life. They taught us that success isn't just about reaching the top, it's about lifting others up. The future isn't just about selling tackle. It's about 3 simple words. Let's go fishing. Here's to the original influencers.
Ooh, I love it.
Let's go. I think we should get some more.
She got it good too, T-boned it.
Let's go.
I love it.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Jax believes a value meal should value your appetite. So check out our $6 dinner deals. Pick from one of 4 hearty Southern favorites and get 2 sides and a biscuit for just $6. That's a whole lot for a whole little. We're Jax, and we're all about the South.
welcome back to the Alabama Bass Trail Studio. It's not 5 o'clock in Alabama, but it is time for the Busch Light wrap-up. So we're going to give you a breakdown of what we saw out on the lake, and then I will come back and give you a little bit of the information about the weigh-in. Jason, talk a little bit about your day out on Lake Guntersville.
Yes, ma'am. We made a quick little run just across from takeoff right over there, over here into Seabold Creek, and we've spent our whole day here. There have been about 15 to 20 teams in here all day, just kind of bouncing around. Don't know Lake Guntersville, this area is loaded, chock full of grass, and one of our teams got on a flurry. I'm talking they caught 20 plus fish, and they had over 21 pounds when we left them. They bounced around and just really felt and said, you know, we really can't upgrade anymore on these fish. Every one we pull in is not helping us at all. So they moved on. Other teams have moved in and out of the area. We just had a team here that just caught a fish behind us. And you know, the thing today is the wind. The wind is really blowing hard. You can see behind me, it is just blowing really hard. That is going to affect the fishing today. But the other thing is the storms yesterday don't really feel like it's affected the fishing very much from what the anglers are saying. They fished a lot during the weekend practice, and at the end of the day, they're still here. So that's the key thing for them, is that the fish stayed right where they are. So Darian, tell us a little bit about the area that you're in.
Yeah, I've been in the Browns Creek, All Reds area for the majority of the day, and me and Luke actually got tipped off from a good friend of ours earlier this week that the bite on the humps was just outstanding.
We've seen that a bunch. Basically, every single hump that you pass has got a boat on it or two, and pretty much all of them are catching fish too. So that's a bonus whenever you're get on a pattern and it's working and everyone else around you is doing it. It keeps your confidence up. Also lets you be able to run around because you know all the other humps that have got fish on it. So if somebody's on a spot that you want to be on, you can go to the next one, and we're definitely seeing that happen today. One of the kind of highlights right behind us right now is Fisher and Ryan and Naya. They got out of the wind. Luke was saying earlier they were in some pretty heavy wind. So these guys got out of the wind and just caught back-to-back 6-pounders within 10 minutes of each other. And they've got somewhere in the 22, 23-pound range. They said if we can get 3 more of these, we're going to have a good shot at it. That's going to put them to 30 plus. And I think they're seeing them too. I think just by what he's saying and some of the things that they're hinting at, I believe there's a lot of fish in this area. He did mention there's a bunch of bucks. They got to keep finding the big females, but they're both good enough on live scope to see them and tell the difference in a smaller fish and a bigger fish. So they keep looking for the big ones, and we'll see how this weigh-in is going to turn out. I think it's going to be a big one. Hopefully over 30 pounds is going to take the lead. But yeah, we shall see here in a little while. Luke Duncan, over to you.
Well, I want to say that obviously Fisher and Ryan and I are very dialed on this lake, but when I was with them earlier this morning, they were zigging and zagging and trying to figure it out, and they only had one fish, so things have picked up for them, and they've picked up for a lot of the teams that we've covered. A lot of limits in the boat. We've heard of a lot of limits around that 19, 20-pound range. To me, the theme of the day is going to be moving and shaking. Who can find somewhere where they can get comfortable due to these new conditions between the wind. We've seen, like the Lamb brothers that had the issue with their live scope trying to see in this water that is, it's a little dirtier than it was in practice, and you've got that pollen mixed in with it. My live scope's been like that today too, and several other anglers. Fisher and Ryan were saying that earlier, so sounds like they've gotten in a little bit better area there as well. So today, I think it comes down to shallow versus the scopers. Let's see who's going to take it home. I still think it's going to take over 30 pounds as well. We're going to find out at Lake Guntersville State Park this afternoon starting at 3 p.m. Miss K, looks like it's going to be another barn burner on the Big G.
That's one thing you can always count on at an Alabama Bass Trail Tournament. There is going to be a weather event, either the day of, the day before. There is always going to be a weather event, and this week was none other than just that. We started having bad weather on Friday. Saturday was a complete state north, south, east, and west weather event. We did have a number of homes lost, a number of businesses lost. I saw that the governor just recently put out that we know of 2 fatalities in those storms on yesterday. So our thoughts and prayers go out to those families. But also, while I have your attention, I would like to send out our sincere thoughts and prayers to Miss Pam Martin Wells. Pam has fished the Alabama Bass Trail several years with her husband, Stephen. She is in the fight for her life against cancer, and she's had a rough week, and we would appreciate your prayers and thoughts for her. as well as our great friend and former Alabama Bass Trail champion, Mr. Terry Tucker. Had a chance to talk to Terry this week. He's in good spirits, but he is also in the fight for his life, and he's praying for a miracle. So if you would take some time and think about those two, as well as everyone else who experienced loss on yesterday. We appreciate you tuning in today. I know we did have a few little technical difficulties, but we plowed through it. Thank you, Jason, Luke, and Darian out on the water. Thank you to the guys back in Sylacauga and everyone here on the ground for making the Alabama Bass Trail the best trail in the state of Alabama. Maybe the Southeast. We'll go ahead and claim that. We appreciate you coming back today at 3 o'clock for the weigh-in. Luke will be on stage, Darian will be doing on-stage interviews, and Jason will be doing social media. So you guys come back. If you're out, please say hello. We'd love to see you. Have a great day.
This live coverage of the Alabama Bass Trail has been presented by AmFirst Credit Union and sponsored by Phoenix Boats, Landers McClarty Chevrolet, McGraw-Webb Chevrolet, Jax, Garmin, Rapala, VMC, Crush City, Pro Guide Batteries, Mountain Dew, TH Marine, American Baitworks, and Sweet Home Alabama.